Hi friends, it's Carolyn Zook here with Zook Stitch, and today is Saturday, July 23rd, 2022. Welcome to my channel about cross stitch. I'm so glad that you are here spending part of your day or your evening with me. Thanks for joining us. I cannot believe that it's already the end of July. I don't know where this month has gone. As many of you know, I have the month off from work for July. I'm an 11-month employee, which is fabulous. And I've been working really hard getting my house. I'm basically doing like a giant spring clean this month is what it's turned into, like a huge declutter, which is part of why it's taking me so long to feel like my house is getting in order. I took 2 full carloads to Goodwill this week, which felt fantastic to get all that stuff out of the house. All those boxes that have been sitting around and all that. So that feels really good. Yeah, we're moving right along. And now I have one more week left of my vacation, and I can't believe how fast it's gone. I have my windows open today because it is a fantastic 65 degrees at noon on a Saturday. Hopefully no one decides to mow their lawn right now while I'm filming. If so, I'll get up and close the windows, but it's just way too nice out to have the windows closed. Don't worry though, I know many of you are in a heat wave across the US and over in Europe. I know you've had recently quite a big heat wave with record-breaking temperatures. Ours will be coming this week. We are going to be in the mid to upper 90s, if not 100s, all week. Starting, I think, tomorrow's just a warm-up, but I think starting Monday through Friday, essentially, it's going to be in the upper 90s to 100s. They were saying on the news this week that that where we are located, what's going on with my hair? There, fixed it. That we are located just south, so latitude, if you look at the latitude of like the UK, we are in the Pacific Northwest, just south of them. So our climates are very similar, where it rains a lot. We tend to be, usually, we tend not to get really, really hot or really, really cold. Although that is changing, of course. And like people in the UK, many people in the Pacific Northwest do not have air conditioning either. This house I moved into a year ago is my first place I've ever lived that has, in Portland, that has air conditioning. And I'm very, very grateful because last year, about a month after I moved in here, we had our record-breaking, they were calling it a heat dome, of 116 degrees. So I was very fortunate to live in a place that had air conditioning where many people in our area just don't have it. Because typically, we might have, a few days here and there of the 90s, and that's about it. And our summer so far this year has been very, very nice and very, very pleasant. It's kind of like what I consider old school Portland summers. Part of why I moved here. There's low humidity. The temps are usually in the lower to mid 80s, and that's our summer. Maybe, like I said, maybe it creeps up into the 90s a few times, but of course things are changing, and I am very grateful to have a house that has air conditioning. That is definitely a luxury that I don't overlook. So I'm thinking about everyone who lives in those areas with the heat wave. I know many, many millions of people are being affected and impacted. So I'm thinking about you. So let's get into questions. Questions and answers and discussions and all that from our video last week. I am through all the comments on the main Flosstube video. I'm not yet through all the comments. I did a flip through. And I did the whip parade, which I have not responded to all the comments on the whip parade yet, but hopefully you enjoyed those 2 extra videos. Okay, we're talking still about the jacaranda tree. If you remember, a few weeks ago I showed the, the cottage garden cotton threads. And one of them was the jacaranda was the colorway. And so we've been having this discussion in the comments, which has been really, really interesting about jacaranda. Lynette first started by saying, we have those trees in Australia. Then others chimed in and say, well, we have them also in Arizona and Southern California. Cardiff Stitcher Danielle says we also have them in South Africa. They were introduced in the 1880s into that area. So what I'm gathering is hot places, that they grow in really, really hot places is what I'm guessing. So thank you, Danielle, for enlightening us on that. They're far more popular than I ever thought. I've never heard of them. So that's also very interesting. Carolyn, not me, the other Carolyn, asks, how do you know what percentage you have done on the cat alphabet? So there are a lot of questions and comments about the cat alphabet, which I'm excited to show you my progress because I've been showing it so much this month. I use Pattern Keeper, which is only for Android devices right now. I am an Apple girl, so I did buy a tablet just for Pattern Keeper, and in my opinion, it is well worth the investment. Especially because now I'm starting a bunch of Hage. You can also use it for non-full coverage pieces. They have a list of designers on their Facebook group of, kind of designers that they support, and a lot of them are supporting that. For me, and I don't know, I don't really have rhyme or reason, but I mostly only use it for full coverage. I think partly because I like paper copies of charts. So I like to have the paper copy, which means I can give it away to you once I'm done with it. But so I use Pattern Keeper. I bought an Android tablet off of Amazon. I at first got a Fire tablet. It kind of stopped working for me. I couldn't get it turned on. That came out wrong. I couldn't turn it on. You know what I mean. Anyway, so it stopped turning on, and I don't know why, and I tried to Google it, and I couldn't get it figured out. So I bought another one. It's called Hijoy, Hyjoy. I'm not sure if it's in my Amazon shop or not. I'll take a look and make sure to add it. It's a little more expensive, but I really, really like it. It works a lot better. And because this is an Android run, so if you get the Fire tablet, you have to download the Google Play app and kind of do this roundabout way of getting Pattern Keeper. The Hijoy, you just download Pattern Keeper, just like any app on any device, which I also like because it was a lot easier for me to install and just go ahead and start stitching on it. So I'm very happy with it. I can't even remember how much it was. I can't remember, but I'll link it down below and make sure it's added to my Amazon shop, my Amazon storefront, so that if you are looking for a tablet, they say that they're in the works of getting one that works on Macs. I know that there is Markup RX, is that what it's called? Which I have never used, but I know that's one that's Mac compatible that people do use for their Apple products as well. I love Pattern Keeper. I love its functionality. And so that's what I use. And that will tell you the percentage done that you're done on the whole piece. It will tell you the number of stitches you've done on the whole piece. And it will tell you how many stitches you stitched that day. It will not, though, I can't say if I forgot to write down the number of stitches that I stitched yesterday, I can't go back in today and see how many stitches did I stitch on July 22nd. So at midnight, it kind of flips over to the new day and but the main number of stitches that you've completed is still there. So Pattern Keeper, game changer. I love it. Gladys asked, how big is Cat Alphabet going to be? Cat Alphabet is going to be big. I am stitching it on 18 count Aida. It will be, once it's finished, this doesn't include any border because I probably won't have a mat or anything, but the finished size will be 34.5 inches by 28 inches. And she asked, are you going to frame it? What are you going to do with it? Yes, I plan to frame it and hang it on a wall. I have a lot of wall space. Now, granted, I have a lot of big projects, and so eventually I will probably run out of wall space, but right now I have lots of wall space to fill up. So, yes, I plan to frame the Cat Alphabet. And then Gladys also asked, what do you do with all your finished pieces? And she said, it'd be nice to see all your finished pieces. So this is a great question. And maybe I'll do like a finished parade. Like I did a whip parade. Maybe I'll do a finished parade. Most of my finished pieces are in a drawer right now because I've, like I said, it's taken me a year to get set up in this house. Before that, it was a year of having everything in storage, moving, living in an apartment temporarily while I house hunted, all this. So I feel like the past couple of years, I've just been collecting them. I have had some framed, which you have seen recently. And I have finished a few like Halloween pieces that I've just kind of finished with foam core and just cute fabric and that type of thing. And I think I showed you a Christmas one that I finished recently. I think I showed that. But yeah, I can maybe show you. Right now, there's a bunch that are just sitting in a drawer. Some of them I do want to get framed, like Spring at Hawk Run Hollow. I want to get that framed. But there's something I think I want to fix on that. So the more I think about it, there's a little banner at the top where I put Czech Stitch, but I don't think I like the colors that I chose. So I'm going to undo that banner and just change out the colors before I get that framed. And also that's going to be an expensive piece because it's going to be very long. So I kind of need to save up for framing on that piece. And then I have other ones, a lot of smalls, a lot of Christmas ornament types that I just haven't had the right setup or the time to be able to finish. But what I am thinking of doing is taking, a Saturday or Sunday, sometime this fall maybe, and doing a bunch of FFOing. So I think that would be really fun. Give my hand at that, give a try at that. I don't have a scrapbook or a portfolio or anything. I don't know that I will do that for me, just because I don't do a whole lot of smalls. And the ones that I do are either gifts that I give away, or they're going to be things like ornaments or seasonal things. So I don't, other than that, I do like bigger projects that I will frame and have on my wall. So that's my plan with my pieces. And then, okay, so I think that was all the questions about cat alphabet. Mandy asked about, I had mentioned lamb's wool linen last week. She said, is there actually wool in the fiber or is that just the color? And as far as I can tell, it's just the color name or the fabric name. It's 100% linen, so I don't think there is lamb's wool in it. But if anybody knows better than me, please feel free to correct me. And then this is for Julie in Stitches. So Jan responded about your question about what threads to use on 40 count 1/1. Jan says she just uses regular DMC or overdyes and just uses one strand on things like 40 count 1/1. And she says she uses tent stitch because if you use a full X, she says it's way too bulky for her. And she said, otherwise, if you want the full X, then she suggests moving to a 100.3 silk, like an Avassois. Yeah, Avassois. Sorry, my French is not good. An Avassois silk, the 100.3 size will work as well. So hopefully that helped. Okay, let me shut the windows because I hear some yard work going on. So let me shut the windows and then I'll come back and we'll get into the whips. Okay, I am back. All right, let's look at what I stitched on this week. First up is Cat Alphabet. So I am doing the Full Coverage Fanatics Tour de France challenge this month where you stitch the number of stitches that the cyclists cycle that day. I'd much rather do the stitching than the cycling. But this is Cat Alphabet. Our artwork is by Irina Garmashova. This is charted by Michelle Sayeda from Haid. I am in this first block. We saw the little mousey last week. He was done. And then so we're kind of up here spelling out the word cat is where we are. And then we will have this whole bottom part. And you can see there's no little mouse over there that will come in, but he's not there yet. And then this is what the whole piece will look like. Like I said before, I'm stitching this on 18 count Aida, just a white Aida because it's full coverage. And this is where we're at this week. So I got the A all filled in. I can't remember if that was done last time or not. But I filled in some of this purple down here and all this purple was filled in. And you could start to see the outline of the T here. You see that T kind of coming in? So we're doing the purples and pinks. There's some pinks in there if you look really closely, and purples. So it's really, really been fun. I really love how much progress I've made on this. So speaking of progress, I am now at 2.02% done with the whole piece, which is great because I think when I started this challenge, I wasn't even 1% done yet. Percent done. Okay. So for the challenge, I need to complete 3,356 stitches. I have to date, as of last night, stitched 3,727 stitches. So I'm technically done. I'm technically over by about 400 stitches, but the event actually doesn't end tomorrow is the last day. I think today we only have to do like 18 stitches, and tomorrow is, I don't know, something like 120 stitches or something like that. I am going to keep going until the event officially ends, and then I will post my kind of start and finish, which I will show you next week where I started the month and where I finished, because I think, so then that will complete that official challenge. But because I'm off for another week in July, I want to keep going with this. So I think I'm going to, aim for 150 to 200 stitches a day, which is kind of what I've been doing every day. So I'm going to keep going through the month of July on this piece, even though the challenge is going to be over, and just see how much further I can get. Like if I can get that T done, I mean, that will be a huge, I just feel like that will be huge. I'm really sad that this challenge is ending because this has been so much fun to work on and pull out and just kind of get some done. I mean, it really has shown me that, one, I know I mentioned it last week, things don't get done if you don't work on them. But even doing, 100 stitches a day, which some days can take a really long time. Like I said, our Mondays for this challenge have been rest days, so you don't need to stitch anything. Well, I've kept stitching even on Mondays, and I will do like a lot of the confetti. So some days I'll sit down and stitch for an hour, hour and a half, and I'll only get 70 stitches in because I'm focusing on the confetti. And so there's a lot of color changes. But what I like about this piece, and I think I mentioned this last week, is it's a really good balance of confetti and a lot of fill-in. So like this is all the same color, right? There's some confetti in there, but I don't know. So I'm going to keep going on this. I'll post my picture, like I said, in the Facebook group to complete the challenge. And then I'm just going to keep stitching on it through July because I'm off anyway, and this can be my July piece. And maybe that's kind of how I tackle this piece. I will still stitch on it one time a month, one day a month going forward. But I really like the idea of kind of stitching on this, focusing on this. And it almost makes me want to do a monogamania next May, like forget all my responsibilities and stitch on one piece the whole month, which might be kind of boring for you guys, but think of all the progress you can make. So I have been doing this, and usually to get the number of stitches I need takes me anywhere between an hour and 2 hours. But because I'm not working this month, I'm still then able to get 3 hours a day on whatever else I have designated for that day. So this is like extra stitching. And the reason why I can complete it is because I don't have to work. So, but here it is again. I love it. I love the colors. It's very interesting to stitch. I'm never bored. And you can see again, like the outline, there's a cat kind of curled up right here. So that is where we are at. So maybe next week when you see it, maybe we'll have that tea done, hopefully. So I worked on that. Is there anything else? Okay, so like I said, 2.02% is officially done. So out of all the stitching, let me show it to you one more time. I forgot to tell you. Out of all the stitching, this isn't even equivalent to a whole page. I'm not even joking. A whole page for a Haid is about 8,000 stitches. I am only at 6,332 stitches. So we still have almost 2,000 more stitches to do to get to consider a page finish. And you could tell I'm not necessarily going by like the actual pages before moving on. I'm just kind of going wherever I want, which is another great benefit of using Pattern Keeper. But this is only 6,300 stitches of the whole piece, which isn't even a page finish yet. So we'll see if I even get a page finish. I might be able to get it like the equivalent of 8,000 stitches by the end of this next week. Maybe. I don't know. That's a lot of stitches. Yeah, I probably won't. 2,000? No, I probably won't actually. Anyway, so that's cat alphabet. And then next up was Fireside Christmas. So this is, I'm starting this, well, I started it last year, the year before that. But Jan Hicks Creates is starting this month. She started it by Erica Michaels. It's called Fireside Christmas. And it says, friends for your fireside, a wreath for your door, more pleasure at Christmas than ever before, contentment and laughter, good times and good cheer, and peace to go with you all through the new year. I just love the sentiment, and I think it's a beautiful piece. This is also for the Garon designer focus for the month of July is Erica Michaels. So I am working on this for that as well. And I am stitching this on. This is a Color and Cotton Pearwood. This is from the July 2020 Fabric of the Month Club. It's called Pearwood. And this is where I got to. So I'm only working this on Sundays this month, and the exception for tomorrow. I'm not going to work on it, but I'll work on it next Sunday. So that'll be, I think there's 5 Sundays this month. So what I did since last time, I think I did that border. I can't remember if that border was done last time. But I did More Pleasure At, and then this bell. Yeah, so I must have done this as well. So this is just 3 hours of stitching. So we're getting it filled in. I'd like to get this filled in this Q-snap before moving the Q-snap over. And like this is about the halfway point. So where it ends here, there's another half over there, and then there's a whole another half. So there's 4 full pages to this piece, and so I'm still in the first page. So that is where we're at. And as I mentioned last week, I don't love stitching on this piece, but I really love how it looks. So I'm going to keep going. This second time was better. I think it's because there's so much repetition, which I realize is common in cross stitch. But I think maybe because I'm working so much on cat alphabet, which is not repetitious at all, I think maybe this one is a little bit of a struggle for me. Because it's like I worked all on this, and then I'm only halfway done. You know, when I did this border, and the same for this one. This one goes faster, of course. But like this one, you know, there's just a lot of counting, and I don't know, you know, counting's hard. And then this border, too, goes all along the whole piece, which I like when it's done. I like when it's done. So that is Fireside Christmas, and that actually counts for the H in the Magazine Monthly Challenge acrostic, which is honor. Our theme is public spirit, and the acrostic is honor. And we get questions from time to time. We get 2 questions about that group. One, no, you don't have to only stitch on magazine pieces. We're open. It is meant for you to start on your magazine pieces so that you can pull them off the shelf, all those sticky tabs that you have in those magazines of pieces you want to start on. It is intended for that, but you don't have to do that. Or what a lot of people will do is they'll try to make their theme. So our theme, like I said, is public spirit for this month. They'll try to make the theme piece be the magazine, and then the acrostic will be whatever they're working on. And we started getting questions because it is the end of July. We started getting some questions about, are we doing AB Single again in September, which is a month-long challenge. It's a month-long acrostic where you fill in each letter of the alphabet and your bingo board. And we call a letter each day, and you stitch on that piece for at least an hour or 100 stitches, depending on how you calculate it. And we have prizes and that type of thing. So, yes, we will 100% be doing AB Single again in September. So I know some people are already starting to plan. Surprisingly, I haven't even started planning yet for AB Single. I don't know why, but yes. If you've joined us in the past for AB Single, or if you are wanting to join us, like I said, you pick your own projects to go with each letter in the alphabet. We will be eliminating 1 letter because there are only 25 spaces on the bingo board, and there's 26 letters in the alphabet. And so last year, I think we eliminated S because it's a really common letter, and we wanted to challenge you all a little bit. And this is one where, again, not all of your pieces have to be from magazines. So if you want to join us, and that sounds like something that you can do, and we give you that, so it's 25 days, but then we give you that last week of the month to catch up if you need to catch up. And it's only an hour or 100 stitches. And you can reuse the same piece as many times as you want. Part of me was like, maybe I should do cat alphabet for the whole thing, because it's an A, B single, right? So I'm like, ooh, could I do cat alphabet for every single day? Because that would work. So we'll see. We'll see what we do and how I feel by September. So then I pulled out early bird bouquets, and this is for both of the O's and honor, because they are finished in hoops like this, and hoops are shaped like O's. So I am working on this one here. And then I do plan to do all 3 of them because I think they're really cute as a set. This is designed by Felicity Hall. And this is in the Cross Stitcher magazine from April 2019. It is issue 342, and this is what the cover looks like. I think Jan of Jan Hicks Creates, I think she showed this a long time ago. She showed this chart, and I said, I love that. I need to have it. So I ordered it. Okay, so I think this is just on 28 count even weave. I think it's just like a white even weave. But I finally finished all the stitching. So all the stitching is done. And there's a lot of back stitching in these. So I started back stitching the cup. I just outlined it. And then I basically had to finish. So some of these long stitches, I don't really like the look of back stitch. So I use long stitches a lot. And so when this is finished in the hoop, it's going to be pulled taut. But obviously it's not right now. So the long stitches aren't laying correctly, but I promise it'll work out. But the stitching is done. And now I just have a bunch of, back stitching to do. There's a ton of back stitching in this piece. This will come out next month for a couple days as well. And so hopefully I'll be able to finish this one. And then maybe even I'll have time to start on the second one. So that is early bird bouquets, and I'm going to finish them. I plan to finish them in the hoops. It looks like the hoops are painted, so I'll be painting some wooden hoops. That'll be fun when I get them all done. I would like to finish these in the next year. In 2023, I would like them all to be done. Next up is the first of my 2 Whipco pieces, Death by Cross Stitch. This is by Long Dog, and this is what it will look like. And I am way up in here. So what I have done already, I think over here, we have that done. And then I'm kind of going back here. I'm working in this area. This one, I feel like I haven't, like it's on my Whipco board 4 times. It hasn't been called very much, I don't think. And I am using the colors from Jan Hicks of Jan Hicks Creates. She did a color conversion for Hoity Toity, which I'm also using. And I'm using the same color palette for Death by Cross Stitch, and I'm just fitting it in wherever, like I'm not planning it out or anything like that. I'm just putting in the colors where I think they look good, which I'll show you in a minute. I think I'm going to take some out. But anyway, so this is the same color palette. She has changed her website. It used to be madforyarn.com. She has changed it now to Jan Hicks Designs, I think it is. So if you want her color conversion, you can go to her website and find it there. So what I've worked on, so I've worked on this 2 days, 6 hours so far, and my goal for each Whipco piece is 12 hours a month. So this will come out this week for a couple more days. But I finished up this diagonal here. I did this diagonal, this one, and then I did this diagonal, and then I moved over and I did this diagonal and then filled in this triangle here. So that is what I have done so far. And where I'm talking about, so do you see, okay, so this diagonal here, it has that same color. This is Briar Rose, and you can see it has that border there, and then it has kind of a second border, but also not really. So I changed the colors. I don't know if you can see what I'm talking about. So you see how this is blue, and then it switches to, this is Tropical Ocean, and then back to the Briar Rose. And I think I don't know. I don't know if that looks funny. I was thinking about taking out all the strip and just making it all into Briar Rose because it is going to be repeated over here. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. I'm not explaining it very well, but blue, green, Briar Rose. Should this all just be Briar Rose? Would that look better? I don't know. Let me know what you think. But this is where I am at. So making progress slowly but surely on this. And I am, let's see, what am I working on? I am on page 2. So that's good. But there's a lot more to go. So, and I'm stitching this on a 32 count Silvery Moon Lugana, which I love. I love that fabric. And then the last piece, so this is 24 hours of cross stitch weekend. As it's turning out, I'm not really super participating. I'm getting about 4.5 hours in of stitching this weekend each day, which is great. That's about what I've been able to do this summer because I am off. Usually I aim for 3 hours a day. So I don't know because I just want to get the house done. And so I'm really motivated to work on the house and all that. So I think that's a good sacrifice to make. But this next one, so I worked on this last night. I have to pull out the final one. This is Winter Friends Welcome by Stony Creek. This is what it will look like. This is from the summer 2020 issue of Stony Creek magazine. And this is the same magazine that the Lamazing piece is in, Lamaz. And I took out Welcome Friends and just put in trees down there. And the only thing I have left to do is this snowman and then all the back stitching. So I started the snowman last night. So you can see the white in there and then his charcoal buttons. And then I know you can see my stitches through there because I carried, this is his scarf. It'll all be filled in, so don't worry. You won't be able to see that when it's done. So this was just 3 hours of stitching. So I'm really happy with that. My goal is to finish this year, which I think is doable. And this is going to come out again this week to work on, to just kind of move him closer to a finish. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. This is I believe it's a 28 count blue Whisper cashel linen that I'm stitching this on. And that, I think, was all of my whips for this week. Let me make sure. Yep, that was everything for this week that I worked on. So, pretty productive week. It's fun to pull out that Winter Friends Welcome piece again because I haven't seen it in a while. All right, haul. I just got a little tiny bit of haul. First up, I'm in the Crazy Annie's Stocking Ornament Club. These are designed by Annie B's folk art. I got 6 and 7 together in 1 month. I think she got behind. And so we have 6 and 7. So we are almost done. And they come with the fabric. I mean, they don't have to, but I wanted the fabric for each of them. So that came in the mail. And then I got my Rogue Stitching Fabric of the Month fabric. And this month it is Atomic Ranch Fabrics, and it is Copper Penny. And oh my gosh, look at this. Isn't this a great fall? Oh my gosh. This would look so pretty with like I'm thinking of, I don't have the chart yet, but that Cats on Parade, who designs that? I can't remember. Blackbird? No. The Cats on Parade, which are just silhouettes of black cats. This would make a really pretty Halloween, like black silhouette type piece, I think. So that is called Copper Penny. And that's Rogue Stitching Fabric of the Month Club, which I love. I love adding because my inclination is to do all neutrals. And so this club really pushes me kind of out of my comfort zone. And then fresh out of the mailbox, I knew that I could see online that this was being delivered today. So I said, I'll go check my mail and see if this is delivered. Our mailboxes is like what do you call it? It's like a block away and there's a bunch of mailboxes. So it's a little effort. But I got this is the Fine Floss Club MPI's needle needlepoint silks through Fat Quarter Shop. So I got the July 2020 club, which is all the mint greens. Aren't those pretty? So that came in the mail. And that's all my haul. It's just my subscriptions. I've been very well behaved lately. All right, let's do giveaways. So last week we were giving away some Halloween charts because Halloween will be here before we know it. And first up, we have this lovely Spooky Town, which I think is just darling. And the winner of this is Cheryl March. So Cheryl, congratulations. I know I should have your address, but can you send it to me at czookstitch@gmail.com? That would be great, just so I have it all in one place. So congratulations, Cheryl. Next up, we have Haunted House. Again, not very spooky. I think these are so darling, especially this little harvest blessing. I think that's really sweet. And the winner of Haunted is Carla Haskell. Carla, congratulations. I do need your address. I know I see you at Acorns, but send me your address and I'll get this in the mail to you because you'll get it before I'll be at Acorns next, by far. So send me your address. And then we had Harvest Moon Cottage by Elizabeth Needlework Designs. This one's so pretty too. And the winner of this is Chris Secura. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Secura. Cerqueira. So Chris, I need your address as well. Please send me your address. And Kat, you won last week and I still have yours, which I'll send out when I send these out. So hopefully people will get back to me and I can send it out on Monday. Now, for this week, we have a mix of still kind of fall, Halloween, but I also threw in a Christmas one in there. So first up, this is Cross Stitch Light. This is a booklet. Somebody sent this to me to give away, and I'm sorry, I can't remember who. But it's called Cross Stitch Light for Fall, and you get all of these charts, which I think is just so, look at this. Isn't that darling with that says give thanks, a cornucopia. Look at the little kitties in there. I think that's so cute. So you have a lot of options here. The called for is all DMC. This is copyright 1992, so it's an oldie goldie. But yeah, they have all the charts in here. So if you are interested in this booklet, please don't say anything about giveaways or anything like that. I have been seeing some comments about giveaways, and they're wonderful comments. I'm like, thank you for the giveaway, but please don't even say that. We don't want to attract trolls. They look for just giveaways on our page. I want this to go to somebody who will actually, think about stitching it. So look, do you see what they did here? So they took these little tiny motifs and they just made like a little, that's a little hanger, but you could do whatever, just little tiny. I think it's so cute. So if you want this one, say fall, FALL, and this is open worldwide. I'll send it anywhere. So fall for that one. Next up, we have a Cricut collection. This one was also sent to me. So this one has 3 different seasons. So we have the boat, and do you see the boat is like actually shaped like a watermelon? Isn't that cute with the gingham and the stripes? I think that's so cute. So that's your summer one. And then you have your Halloween pumpkin, and then you have your Christmas one. It says, and to all a good night. So you get all 3 charts in here. I don't know why they didn't do 4. Pattern pumpkin, summer sales, and bedtime Santa. So maybe there's another separate chart where it's has the spring one in it, or maybe this one will count for spring. I'm not sure. But anyway, so this will cover you for 3 out of 4 seasons. And if you want this, say season, SEASON. And then the next one, somebody sent this to me to give away, but I already had it. So this is the 2019 Christmas Ornaments issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine. So if you want this, again, this will be open worldwide, say Christmas. So you get 70 plus projects inside. So we have Christmas, we have seasons, or season, just singular. and we have fall. Okay, so that we'll give away next week. All right, let's talk about plans. So plans coming up for this week. So this last week, I will film a craft room tour. It might not be till the very end of July, but I'll get it in this month. Carol, I have not forgotten about the lap stand tutorial, so I plan to film that this week as well. I'm going to finalize cleaning up my house. I want it, like I said before, earlier, this is like my big spring clean, and I want it, like if a guest were coming to visit me, I wouldn't be embarrassed. So that's my plan for this week. It should go, my to-do list is dwindling. It's a lot of small things now. I'm going to continue working on cat alphabet. Like I said, the Tour de France challenge ends tomorrow. We go through tomorrow. Technically, I am done because I have the number of stitches, but I'd like to keep going through tomorrow. But then I'm just going to continue on through the week. So continue cat alphabet. I think I showed Cardinal Cottage last week thinking I was going to stitch on it, but I don't know why I did that. I misread my calendar. But I will be stitching on Cardinal Cottage. I think this is even slated for today. This is another Haid. Artwork is by Donna Gelsinger, and this is what it will look like. And of course, I'm way up here in the background. And again, this is 18 count Ada. I think that's my happy place for full coverage Haids. And this is where we're at. So I'm excited to pull this out and work on it a little bit more because clearly this one hasn't had as much attention as Cat Alphabet has. But I think it's really pretty. So we will work on that today. I will continue working on Winter Friends Welcome tomorrow. I will continue working on Death by Cross Stitch to complete that WIPGO goal. And then the other WIPGO piece that I need to finish this week is Winter Quakers, and this is a Rosewood Manor. This is what it will look like. And I am stitching this on the called for 28 count Picture This Plus in Dwarf, and I am using the called for Voldani threads. And this is where we're at. So you can see this motif over here. I love those little cardinals. They just kind of stand out. The snowflakes, it calls for just doing it in one strand of Valdani. I, on accident, started doing it I forgot to separate it, so I started doing it, and then I realized, and I said, you know what, I actually like that you can see them so distinctly. If you do one strand, obviously they're going to be a little bit lighter. I'm just going to go, even if it uses more floss, I'm just going to keep going, because there are so many of these little snowflakes scattered throughout. So this is where we are on this one. This is the Quaker that I probably have the least amount done on. So that'll be fun to pull that out and work on that. And those are my plans for the week. So I think that's everything I have. Let me just look around, make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I have not sold the dining room table yet, but it's still up for sale, which I'm excited to get it out of the house, and then I can kind of move forward and get the right size table for the house. But other than that, like I said, I'll film a craft room tour this week. I'll film the lap stand tutorial, and I'll finish up the house and get it in tip-top shape, ready to start our new academic semester. So I will see you all next Saturday, if not before. Bye.